I was interested in motocross from a young age. My cousin raced motocross, and I just always liked the motorcycles and just the equipment, and it just always looked like fun. So I got my first motorcycle when I was 8, and started riding just around the backyard, and gradually moved up to bigger motorcycles, faster motorcycles, and just always enjoyed the competitive nature of the sport, the speed, the jumps, and it was a lot of fun to hang out with friends at the races, and the social aspect of it was fun too. But the motorcycles and just riding in general was what attracted me the most to motocross. My accident happened at the track in Uniontown, which is just in southern Indiana, and the accident happened during practice, and it was in an area of the track where they had watered the track pretty heavily. It was a downhill area, and at the bottom of the hill, a lot of water had collected at the bottom, and in the practice laps, I was trying to figure out a way to get over to the water the fastest. So I thought if I went a little faster down the hill, there was a bump right before the water, and I thought maybe I could jump across the water and then be clear to get across it faster. So the next time around, I came down the hill and I hit the bump, but then I didn't clear the water, and basically I landed in it, and it stopped the momentum of my motorcycle, and I went over the handlebars and hit the next jump in front of me. Fortunately, I ducked my head and I landed on the nape of your neck, and it immediately, as soon as I hit the ground, I knew I was hurt pretty bad. I couldn't feel my legs. I couldn't feel anything from my chest area down. I could move my hands fine, but when I reached out and touched my legs, I thought I was actually touching somebody else's leg, but it turned out it was mine. I just couldn't feel it. I was kept motivated during recovery by, number one, this wonderful woman next to me, who we weren't married at the time, but we were in a pretty serious relationship, and she kept motivating me and telling me that I will walk again, I will be fine. But I also knew that if I did not walk again, that she would still love me, and she'd be right there with me the whole time. So Janae kept me going, my family kept me going. I had a wonderful support system from not just my immediate family, but aunts and uncles. They participated in taking me to therapy. My grandfather drove up every day from Spencer to help out, and just family in general kept me going, and just my faith in God, knowing that He was going to be with me every step of the way, and just take care of me no matter what happened. I met Janae on my 20th birthday. My family took me out to eat at Waverly Inn, and Janae was the hostess there, and I immediately noticed her standing behind the hostess station and noticed how pretty she was, and sat down with my family and just couldn't take my eyes off her. But I thought, someone like her, she's out of my league. I couldn't touch her. So
he made sure to say something to me as we went to the restroom. He stopped by and told us it was his birthday, and that he had to work that night, I think, and then he ate, and he came back the
following weekend. I think it was on Monday when I was there.
And you came back on Saturday, I think.
Came back on Saturday with a friend, and just had to get her phone number, so we went back and talked to her.
Salad bar.
And we didn't have the money to eat except for the salad bar, so we got salad bar, and the important thing was I got her phone number, so that was what was important. So that was in August 19th of 1991, and we had our first date on Labor Day weekend. So it was a couple weeks until we had our first date after we met. But we dated for
5 years.
For 5 years.
We were engaged for about a year, and then got married in 1996. August.
I got into photography in 2003 from a coworker of mine. He and another coworker talked about photography all the time, and the more I listened to them talk, the more I actually learned about it, because I was forced to sit every day and listen to them talk about it, and it turned out it was something that I really enjoyed and really liked doing. And naturally I started out with just simple, small subjects, things around the house. Our backyard had lots of flowers and things, so I took lots of pictures of that. And it just gradually progressed from doing that and then doing things at church. And more people asked me to take pictures of whether it be their children or just family pictures. And I ended up turning it into a small business that I have now. And I just do it on the side. I don't advertise a lot. I just keep it very low key, and so that way I can do what I want and don't feel like the photography has come to be my complete business. I can still have fun with it. There's no pressure from doing it. I don't have to count on my photography to pay my bills. I still have my full-time job. But I really enjoy doing the photography things, and I enjoy doing it with Janae. Janae's my photography assistant, and she's kind of like me. She's learned a lot from photography just from listening to me talk about things, and Janae's become a wonderful assistant, and she's my detail personnel on the job. She looks at people and makes sure that their shirts are straight and their collars are straight. And
The hair's not out of place.
Little details like that, and things like that make a big difference in the pictures. But the photography at first turned out to be something that I needed a hobby, and it was something that I could do and something that I enjoyed, and I found out that I had an eye for it and enjoyed doing it. So that's how it all started. Doing photography from a wheelchair is a little different than an able-bodied person would do it. Because of my wheelchair, I don't do weddings because I feel weddings you have to be sneaky, you have to be able to sneak around and to get this little shot, and you just can't sneak very well in a wheelchair, and you can't just run up a flight of stairs to get a shot from above or things like that. So I've never done wedding photography just mainly because of my wheelchair. But it's just like anything in life. You learn how to adapt to the wheelchair. You learn how to do what you can and not worry about what you can't do. I think that's part of the key to success in a lot of things. After, whether you're in a wheelchair or whether you any kind of injury or disability, if you can learn to focus and look at what you can do and not focus on what you can't, you'll be successful and you'll stay positive. If you look at what you can't do and dwell on that, then bad things will happen from that. Good things won't come when you start seeing everything that you can't do. But that's really the main difference between being in a wheelchair and being a photographer or being an able-bodied person. There are times you can't get the shot that you want because you can't climb up some steps or climb up a hill or things like that. You have to think ahead of time about accessibility when you go out on a photo shoot. Is the grass going to be too wet? Am I going to sink down on the ground? So there are things that you have to think about that an able-bodied person wouldn't. But with careful planning and preparation and knowing those things ahead of time, then I don't feel it's that much different.